You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Radio Show, only on Financial News and Talk. Now live in studio, your host, local and national real estate expert and consumer advocate, Ron Siegel.
And hello again. Welcome to Ron Siegel Radio. This is the show with no real boundaries as we discuss current events, financial markets, politics, sports, even poking fun at the rest of the media. This is the show that connects the dots of confusion. Delivered by conflicting media reports. We have the dots, so you know the actions you can take, how your family or business can benefit from current events most of all. Thank you for joining me. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day. We have a very focused show. We only chat about items that affect the roof over your head, your bank account, and anything I feel would benefit you. And let me remind you, if you ever have any home or finance-related questions, I am the consumer advocate looking out for you, and you can reach out to me directly, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. Just remember, that's the number you call anytime for assistance. When you call that number, it comes directly to me first. There are operators standing by.
Quiet, numbskulls, I'm broadcasting.
Well, I do have a great team. When it comes to developing a financing plan, a plan to save you money, I personally work with you. Even if you don't have any needs today, save this number in your phone for future reference. 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And yes, we're celebrating today. We celebrate every day on Ron Siegel Radio. Always something fun to celebrate. Josh, you didn't even do this one today. National Broadcast Traffic Professionals Day. We're broadcasters, aren't we? Although I guess we don't do traffic, so I guess that must be okay. Now I get it. Okay, and maybe you're also just figuring that the word professional was in there, so that wouldn't include me. Maybe that was it. But hey, I know that you've got us covered because I've beaten anorexia, and today's National Deviled Egg Day. I like deviled eggs, and you got a lot of good ones covered on that picture there too. Now, just give me a deviled egg with some bacon on top of it, maybe caviar on top of it. I see the caviar one. I don't see any bacon on there, though. Oh, well, let's move right along and see what the markets are doing today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average up 365 points. Nice. S&P 500 is up 60. The NASDAQ is up 173. Oil is up $1.43 a barrel. We don't always celebrate that one. But, we know that it is what it is.
It is what it is.
Yeah, we can't count it. It's just the way it goes. Okay, and we've got gasoline prices. California, $5.21 a gallon. National average, $3.45. And, Josh, you're over at $4.52, so you're right square in the middle of where we are in California and the national numbers. Should we look and see what our trend is? Sometimes they say the trend is your friend. But then again, who knows when we're looking at gas prices. So 1 year ago, we were at $5.52. Currently, we're at $5.21. That's nice. So we're down a little bit. A month ago, we were at $6.05 a gallon. So that's down significantly. Maybe that's what's helping some of the market numbers and some of our inflation numbers. The big deal yesterday, obviously, we'll get into this more in the Mortgage Minute, was the Federal Reserve's comments. And we all knew going into it that there was not going to be any kind of a rise in the rates. You can't say it 100%, but it was pretty confident that there would not be much of any rise in the rates from the Federal Reserve. But the commentary seemed a little bit more, they call it dovish. You have a difference, a dove and a hawk. So you can say one of them is a little favorable, one of them is not so nice. You can guess the dove is, it's a little lovey-dovey. And the hawk, that goes to a little bit of a battle. So that's where those go. And what's that done with the markets? Well, yesterday we got a nice move, a favorable move, if you like the mortgage rates to drop. So we saw that yesterday. We saw the 10-year Treasury drop in the yield yesterday. Senior citizens are not happy about that because they're living on that fixed income. The 10-year Treasury, though, if you're looking at mortgage rates or borrowing, which most of us are, so that was beneficial. So 4.68 is the 10-year Treasury. Again, we'll talk more about that in a little bit. All of this is just a precursor, though, because we're going to get a big jobs report coming out tomorrow. Now, why do I say it's a big jobs report? And I'm going to tell you also, don't believe much of it. But the problem is the market believes it. And the reason I say don't believe much of it is because every time we get a jobs report now, a month or 2 months or 3 months later, we get a revision to it saying they were wrong. So why does the market spend so much time paying attention to it? Hard to say. We're also getting, right after the closing bell on the stock market today, we're going to get earnings from Apple. That generally drives the market a little bit as well because Apple is such a big company. But the irony is, historically, Apple stock goes up into the earnings season. So the stock price is going significantly higher right as you get close to earnings, and then it drops right after earnings. Well, if we look back a month ago, Apple was trading at $180 a share. Right now it's trading at $176. So we didn't get that big run up. What's going to happen this time? It'll be fascinating to see what happens there. What's driving some of the other numbers in the markets? Well, one of the big numbers of the markets is being driven. Unfortunately, it's going to be driven by war. Yeah, and we get there's a lot of money. When you think about every time the government comes out and says, oh, we're going to send another $100 billion to Ukraine. Well, they're sending some money there, but they're sending a lot of ammunition. They're sending a lot of weapons. So when they send those weapons over there, that's where the money comes from going into our markets. And I think I shared with you, one of the senators came out recently and said, and this, you can only get this from the United States government. They said, well, one of the side benefits of war, if there is such a thing, is we rotate our inventory of weapons. So we're sending some of the older weapons over to Ukraine, and we're going to keep building newer weapons for us in the U.S. I don't know about liking something like that, but, it came from a United States senator. If you want to believe him, fine. If you don't want to believe him, that's fine too. So we've got that going on. And then you've got the lunatics I'll just call them what they are, right? You've got the Squad, which is also known as the terrorism section of the United States Congress. Yeah, they're the terrorists of Congress. I'll say it. My opinion. They're out there promoting Hamas. How anybody in their right mind could vote for somebody that's promoting Hamas, I don't get it. And you get this other lunatics out there saying, well, we should take a pause, or Israel should take a pause in the war for humanitarian sake. I'm all for humanitarian sake. I was for humanitarian sake on October 7th. And you get one of the leaders of Hamas coming out and saying, this isn't over, we're going to do it again. So the answer to me is, don't let them. Knock them out, send them to visit whomever they want to visit, and be done with them. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate current events and the financial markets. When we come back, got a great broadcast lined up for you. Don't believe everything you read about home prices. We'll chat about it. End of year financial planning. Talk about that one. Profile of the perfect 850 FICO score. We got a lot to cover. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube, Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio, your home and mortgage connection.
Homeowners over the age of 62 are taking back financial control after retirement with reverse mortgages, and the Siegel Lending Team is here to help you use it to your advantage. Call Ron Siegel with Geneva Financial to receive your free information booklet with no obligation. The booklet answers all your questions, and the best part is, you still own your home. Call Ron Siegel at 1-800-306-1990 or visit ronsiegelradio.com.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit RSRNoDebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit RSRNoDebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. RSRNoDebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. RSRNoDebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to RSRNoDebt.com. RSRNoDebt.com.
Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at RonSiegelRadio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Mortgage Minute today being brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You've got the phone. Make the call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. And I am going to chat with you in a little bit about a very, very unique product that our friends over at Geneva have. And it's something that can really help folks out a lot. And I love the product, but if you're tired of making mortgage payments and you're not a senior and you want to pay your mortgage off faster, this product may be just for you. And we're going to talk about that in just a few minutes. But right now, every day at this time, OBMMI, they provide the most comprehensive, accurate, timely, and interactive analysis of pricing ever conducted in the mortgage industry, calculated from actual locked rates with consumers across 42% of all mortgage transactions nationwide. No, they do not tell us the points paid, points received, or the APR. All they tell us is the locked rate. And let's see what happened yesterday. I think we're going to see some good stuff. Yeah. Every one of the numbers look like they're in the red, which is good, means rates are down. 30-year conforming down 7.692, 30-year jumbo down 7.902. 30-year FHA down 7.396. 30-year USDA for the rural areas, generally no down payment, 7.399. And the best loan on the market. That's for those that earned it. I think this one was down almost the most of any of them. The 30-year VA loan, 7.289. 7.289. 30-year VA loan. And if you want our commentary, we do put out a commentary each morning as early as we can. Data, it's all dependent upon when the data comes out. But you can get on our mailing list for that, our email list. It's free to you. rsrmarketminute.com. rsrmarketminute.com. I've only been doing this a short while. Hundreds of people are already getting this every morning. Are you? Hey, let's take a look and see what's going on right now in the markets. I just gave you the data from yesterday, but let's look at today's data and see what that looks like. The S&P 500 is up 60 points right now. The 10-year Treasury down 8. That's the yield, the interest rate. The bond price on the mortgage-backed securities is up 22. When the bond price goes up, the interest rate goes down. Let's see what's driving it. And it's nice seeing that because yesterday the bond was up a lot based on the commentary from the Federal Reserve and the lower than expected jobs numbers from ADP. So let's take a look and see what's driving this today. So we've got productivity, 4.7% in the third quarter, better than the 4.1% expected, and the highest amount in 2 years. Why is that good? Well, if the productivity goes up, that means overall costs go down. The unit costs go down. So that's deflationary. And that's something that the Federal Reserve is looking for. They decreased on the labor unit cost by 0.8% in the third quarter, lower than the estimates of a rise of 0.7%, much lower than the previous quarter of 3.2%. Lowest levels since the second quarter of 2021. When cost to produce things go down, it can help inflation move lower as those savings can be passed down to the consumer. Oil prices are down roughly 12% over the last month. With WTI now around $80 a barrel, this will help inflation in the coming months, so long as it does not reverse higher. Let's see what they had to do with the Fed yesterday. Unanimously paused their interest rate hikes for the second meeting in a row, keeping the Fed funds rate in a range between 5.25%, 5.5%. The Fed statement was pretty similar to the previous one, but they upgraded the economy, saying it's now strong versus solid, and also upgraded their view on the labor market after a strong September jobs report, saying that job gains moderated versus slowed in the previous statement. Powell did say that the labor supply and demand continues to come into better balance. One of the most important things he said is that tighter financial and credit conditions will weigh on economic activity, hiring, and inflation. The new word in that statement is financial, which is a nod to higher yields tightening for the Fed. The Fed has no reason to hike another 25 basis points, as the only thing that will reduce those tighter inflation or the financial conditions is a slowing economy and lower inflation, in which case the Fed does not need a hike and would likely start talking about when to cut. The Fed is going to continue quantitative tightening, along with a very high Fed funds rate, which will continue to be restrictive on the economy. Powell did leave the door open for another hike at their last meeting of the year on December 13th, but we'll, of course, be looking at the next two jobs reports and inflation reports. Bank of England also paused for the second meeting in a row following the U.S., as well as the ECB, who paused at their last meeting after 10 straight hikes. Initial jobless claims came out this morning. Measures individuals filing unemployment benefits for the very first time rose 5,000 to 217,000. Figures still relatively low, but it's been moving higher over the past few weeks. Continuing claims are those that continue to receive benefits after their initial claim rose 35,000 to 1.82 million. These have risen by 167,000 over the last 7 weeks. This report continues to show that employers are holding on to their workers, but the rise in continuing claims shows that once people are let go, it's becoming harder to find another job and companies are hiring less. This was evident in the last two ADP reports and hopefully is reflected in tomorrow's BLS jobs report. And that's the biggie right there, is no matter what we say, no matter what we do right now, everything is going to be driven by the BLS report that comes out tomorrow. So the market's going to probably just zigzag a little bit today, but then we'll see some real action, volatility tomorrow. And again, some of it's going to be warranted. Some of it's just going to be phony numbers that come out as usual. That is the Mortgage Minute, brought to you by our friends at Geneva Financial. When you're ready for that next home loan, Geneva's got the programs and the products. You just need to make a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. One of the products that Geneva had I really, really like, and it's only for people that want to get rid of their mortgage quicker, not have a traditional mortgage payment, and have a lower effective interest rate. So it's that key word there is effective, because the interest rate might be higher when you look at it, but because the way this works, it's a lower effective rate, and it'll actually help pay off your house faster. So and it's all based on the way it works. It's called the Home Select program. It is for sophisticated home buyers. Some people aren't going to understand it, so we don't understand, we don't like. But here's the way it works in a nutshell. And if you want more details on it, give me a call at 800-306-1990. So basically what you're doing here is, when you get a direct deposit, whenever you get salary, whenever your company makes money, if it's a sole proprietorship and it goes into your account, you deposit that money directly into the Home Select account. I recommend that you live off of, as much as you can, off of 2 credit cards, one that has a payment date or a statement closing date the 15th of the month, the other that has a statement closing date the 30th of the month. When your direct deposits go into the account, that's paying down your interest. So you're not going to ever write a traditional mortgage payment again. It just pays it down. And being that money is paying down the principal right there, the interest is calculated every single day. But you just reduce the principal. So say you've got a $400,000 or $500,000 mortgage. It can go up to a couple $1 million, doesn't matter. But say you've got a $500,000 mortgage and you get a $3,000 check. You put that in there, and immediately the next day will bring your balance down on what you owe. Well, being that you've brought the balance down, that full $3,000, not just the little bit that goes to principal when you make a traditional mortgage payment, the full balance goes down. Well, now what's going to happen is your interest charges on that lower number. And I know you got to live, and I know you're spending some of that money, but what you're doing is you're paying that money, you're using those credit cards to live off of, and then you're paying them in full right before the statement closing date with a check from the Home Select account. So yeah, your balance will go up at that point, but you've had that 30-day window or 45-day window where you haven't been paying interest on the credit card and you haven't been paying interest on the mortgage because your money's there. What does that do? Well, it cuts down those interest expenses, so it ends up paying off the loan. I've seen it go a 30-year loan that, if it's done correctly, the schematics will show that it's paid off in 12 years. But oh wait, we're not closing it, we're just paying it down. So then say you've been doing this and you say, you know something, I want to go buy a new car. You write that out of your own account there, your Home Select account, pay cash for it, but make your car payments right back into the Home Select account. That way you're paying the interest to yourself. You can do this with a lot of different things. Now, yes, you can do this for your own home, a second home, or an investment property. You can have access to this. So think of this as a sort of, for our senior citizens, we look at this and say, you know something? Maybe this is an alternative, or if you don't qualify, if your house is too valuable, you can think of this as an alternative to that reverse mortgage. A lot of different opportunities with this. It's the Home Select product from Geneva Financial. And if you want a scenario on it, let me know. You're listening to Ron Siegel Radio, discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, Don't believe everything you read about home prices. We'll talk about it. End of year financial planning for freelancers. We'll talk about that as well. You can reach me anytime. Our off-air number, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the number 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey, and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis. rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and I will be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. Real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Don't believe everything you read about home prices. According to the latest data from Fannie Mae, 23% of Americans still think home prices will go down over the next 12 months. I think I've got a message about that one.
You know better than that.
But why do roughly 1 in 4 people feel that way? It has a lot to do with all the negative talk about home prices over the past year. Since late 2022, the media has created a lot of fear about a price crash, and those concerns are still lingering. You may be hearing people in your life saying they're worried about home prices, or see on social media that some influencers saying prices are going to come tumbling down. If you're someone who still thinks prices are going to fall, ask yourself this: which is a more reliable place to get your information? Clickbait headlines in social media, or a trusted expert on the housing market right here at Ron Siegel Radio? The answer is simple. Listen to the professionals who specialize in residential real estate. Here's the latest data you can actually trust. Housing market experts acknowledge that nationally, prices did dip down slightly late last year. But that was short-lived. Data shows prices have already rebounded this year after that slight decline in 2022. Remember, it was just the last part of 2022. Numbers were up for the entire year of 2022 because the earlier part of the year was up dramatically. The last part of the year was down a little. The balance out means interest rate, the valuations were up for the year. Price changes in home prices quarter over quarter. The first quarter last year up 4.72. Second quarter up 5.48. Third quarter down 0.46. Fourth quarter down 1.24. Now let's look at the quarters this year, 1.3, 2.1, and 2.0. Every quarter's up this year. We had 2 quarters that were down less than 2% last year, and the other 2 quarters were up over 10%. So it's still good. But it's not just Fannie Mae that's reporting this bounce back. Experts from across the industry are showing in their data too, and that's why so many forecasts now project home prices will net positive this year, not negative. And again, we've got a graph if you're watching us on RonSiegelRadio.tv, any of the socials, or the ABC News and Talk AM 1490 video feed. The graph helps prove this point with the latest forecasts from each organization. If you look at all of them, they average 2023 year-end home price forecasts 3.9% for all of them combined. Fannie Mae up 6.7%, AEI up 6%, Zillow 5.5%, Home Price Expectation Survey up 3.3%, Mortgage Bankers Association 1.5%, NAR up 1%. What's worth noting is that just a few short weeks ago, the Fannie Mae forecast was for 3.9% appreciation in 2023. In the forecast that just came out, that projection was updated from 3.9 to 6.7 for the year. This increase goes to show just how confident experts are that home prices will net positive this year. So if you believe home prices are falling, it may be time to get your insights from the experts instead. And they're saying prices are not falling, they're climbing. Might even ask this question to any of them or yourself. What would be the catalyst for prices to fall, being that there's no inventory available and there's lots of people still shopping? Bottom line, there's been a lot of misleading information about home prices over the past year, and that's still having an impact on how people are feeling about the housing market today. But it's best not to believe everything you hear or read. If you want information you can trust, turn to the real estate experts. Come visit us right here, Ron Siegel Radio. Their data shows home prices are on the way back up and will net positive for the year. If you have questions about what's happening in our local area, give me a call, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com. That is the real-time real estate segment brought to you by RSRmoney.com, RSRmoney.com. Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com, end of the year financial planning for freelancers. While freelancing is largely touted as offering you freedom, flexibility, and unlimited earning potential, it also comes with many added responsibilities. For one, no HR manager or accounting department is handling your finances. You're tasked with your financial housekeeping, from making sure you have enough stashed away to pay Uncle Sam. Make sure you do that. And as if the end of the year isn't busy enough, it's also an opportune time for financial planning. That way you have your money ducks in a row and be well prepared for the new year. Here we walk you through some essential end-of-year tasks to check off your list. Reassess your business budget. Even if your side hustle, part-time or moonlight, on top of your day job, you'll want to maintain a business budget. Depending on the nature of your business, expenses you'll need to factor into your budget include subscription fees, online tools and software, commercial auto insurance, rideshare insurance, material supply and equipment, inventory, paying subcontractors, business-related travel, uniforms, advertising and promotion expenses, health and dental insurance premiums. Determine how much you spend in a month or quarter and determine what you need to account for money-wise. This will help you steer clear from spending more than you have. If needed, make tweaks as necessary. For instance, if you rarely use that productivity software, consider dropping the subscription or see if there are less expensive or free versions you can try. Organize business-related expenses. A common financial housekeeping mistake is not keeping proper track of business expenses that qualify for a tax write-off. At the end of the year, one often discovers that their business expenses are mixed with their personal ones. Separating your business expenses from your personal ones is a time-consuming, hair-pulling affair, and I don't have much hair left. The end of the year is a good time to separate out personal expenses from business expenses. Business expenses can include vehicle expenses if you use your car for work, meals and entertainment, business travel, business tools, equipment, supplies, online software and tools, health insurance premiums, training programs and education, home office expenses if you have a home office, bank fees, advertising and marketing related expenses, professional services, memberships to professional organizations. Keeping track of income that fluctuates and comes from different sources is also no easy feat. To keep things simple, consider opening a separate checking account, a business checking account, to track expenses as well as income from your freelancing business. You can also consider a credit card designated for your business-related expenses to help you keep better track. Plus, you can take advantage of credit card perks such as travel rewards or earning extra points for certain business spending categories. Don't forget to save for taxes. Tax prep is a must if you freelance. For starters, you're responsible for paying your own income and self-employment taxes. Plus, you're usually required to pay quarterly estimated taxes. So it's important to have enough liquidity to pay Uncle Sam when these deadlines roll around. To start, save a portion of all the pay from your side hustle. A general rule is to set aside anywhere from 20 to 50% of your freelance earnings. It's a wide range, so it's best to talk to a tax professional who can offer guidance based on your unique situation. And a big change for 2023, if you use payment platforms such as Venmo for your business, you'll be responsible for paying taxes on those earnings if you earn more than $600. Keep your business emergency fund in the black. Just like you need a rainy day fund for your expenses, you'll also want to have a bit of a cushion for your business. You never know when you might need some cash to tide you over until the next influx of client payments comes through. Or should your tire go flat while you're gigging as a rideshare driver, you can tap into your business emergency fund to cover unplanned expenses. While keeping at least 3 to 6 months of emergency funds in your personal savings is recommended, it's up to you how much you want to save for your business. Bottom line, ensuring you stay on top of your financial housekeeping as a freelancer will help prevent hassles, headaches, and costly mistakes. In turn, it'll ensure you're well prepared for the new year. That is the Your Credit Matters segment brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it's wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. I don't think we have time to get into another report. So what we're going to do is I'm going to give you, we're going to tell you right now, you're listening to Ron Siegel Radio discussing your real estate, current events, and the financial markets. When we come back, affordable home ownership strategies for Gen Z. We'll talk about that. And we're going to give you a profile of a perfect 850 FICO score. All that and more. Reach me anytime off our number 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or RonSiegelRadio.com, Facebook.com/Ron Siegel Radio. And if you miss any part of our broadcast, Ron Siegel 1 on YouTube. Ron Siegel, the numeral 1 on YouTube. Stay tuned. We'll be back in just a few.
Ron Siegel Radio. Your home and mortgage connection.
Do you know a homeowner experiencing divorce? Do you know a real estate reference and the divorce decree could cost tens of thousands of dollars? A certified divorce mortgage planning and real estate report could save you thousands of dollars, and it's free from your local certified divorce lending professional. Reach out to Ron today. RonIsMyLender.com. Again, RonIsMyLender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you like many of your neighbors trying to figure out how to pay off your debts so you can retire someday? Build bigger savings. Invest in opportunities. Visit RSRNoDebt.com. Debt will destroy 50% of Americans from being able to retire earlier and with more. What if you could have a guaranteed program that could show you how to eliminate all of your debt in 10 years or less, all without having to spend more each month than you spend right now? Yes, that's correct. All without spending more from your checkbook each month than you are today. Get your free analysis today to see if you qualify. Visit rsrnodebt.com. Log on today for your free analysis, rsrnodebt.com. No purchase necessary. The free analysis takes only 2 minutes. rsrnodebt.com. Ron Siegel Radio is your home and mortgage connection. Go to rsrnodebt.com. rsrnodebt.com. Are you tired of paying rent? Are you tired of paying someone else's mortgage? Do you know qualified folks can potentially purchase a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket? Ron Siegel can help qualified people purchase their own home at amazing interest rates. If you're tired of paying someone else's mortgage, reach out to Ron today at ronismylender.com. That's ronismylender.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Hey friends, do you dream of mortgage-free home ownership? Are you aware that even if you own your home free and clear, it could still be costing you thousands per year? The Siegel Lending Team can help you generate tax-free income, accumulate family wealth, and maintain ownership of your home. By simply emailing your most recent mortgage statement, you'll receive a no-obligation real estate plan. Learn more by calling 1-800-306-1990 or email me your recent mortgage statement to PEAR@RonSiegelRadio.com. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender. Are you a renter and tired of making monthly payments? Paying off someone else's mortgage? Hey, it's Ron Siegel here to help you stop renting and start owning your dream home with amazing low interest rates. And you could potentially qualify for a $500,000 home for less than $5,000 out of pocket. So stop renting. Start owning with Ron Siegel. Learn more at ronsiegelradio.com and start owning today. Licensed under NMLS 217037, Equal Housing Lender.
Are you earning a safe, secure 10+% return on your investments? Is your credit score over 800? Are you living in the home of your dreams or simply where you think you can afford? If the answer to any of these questions is no, what are you doing about it? Text ATP to 79564. Complete a 3-minute complimentary survey and the area trusted professionals of Ron Siegel Radio will reach out to you to develop a success strategy for you. Again, all you need to do is text ATP to 79564.
Are you a veteran, own a home, and need money? The Siegel Lending Team is here to help veterans refinance and get the money they need. The VA 100 lets you borrow up to 100% of your home's value, refinance your mortgages, consolidate credit cards, and lower your payments by an average of $700 a month. And the Siegel Lending Team knows that character means more than a credit score. Call 800-306-1990. That's 800-306-1990. Rate subject to change without notice. Licensed by the California Department of Corporations, NMLS 21037, and DRE number 018694552.
You're listening to Ron Siegel's Home and Finance Show with local and national expert Ron Siegel. Now, here's Ron.
Welcome back to Ron Siegel Radio. Within every market, there are solutions as well as tremendous opportunities. You just need some trusted guidance. That is my message, and we'll be delivering it every day on Ron Siegel Radio or anytime at 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990. The Your Credit Matters segment today being brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a report. It is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has these solutions for you. Perfect profile of a perfect FICO score is our subject today. A perfect FICO score can be a lofty goal, and it's not something that many people achieve, but it also might not be as important as you think. In fact, when you apply for a new credit account, there might not be a difference between having an exceptional FICO score of 805 versus a perfect 850. Why a perfect score might not matter? Most FICO scores range from 300 to 850. A higher FICO score is better because it indicates that someone is less likely to miss payments in the future. Creditors consider this when deciding whether to approve credit applications and the rates and terms to offer. They give the best offers to people who are least likely to miss payments. However, creditors generally don't require someone to have a perfect FICO score to get the best offers. Instead, they often have a cutoff point, and anyone with a score higher than that can qualify. I can tell you I've never seen a perfect FICO score, Best I've seen is 834 out of that 850. 90-year-old gentleman that hadn't missed a payment in his entire life. The specific point can depend on the creditor and type of account, and creditors might change their cutoff at times depending on other criteria, such as economic trends and an application's history with the company. But creditors rarely, if ever, require you to have an 850 FICO score. Instead, they might give the best offers to anyone who has a 750 score in the upper 700s and higher and meets their other criteria. If you have an exceptional FICO score, 800 and above, you almost certainly have a high enough FICO score to get the best offers. However, it's still important to shop around because different creditors may offer you various rates, terms, and loan amounts. So what's a perfect 850 good for? Bragging rights for one, but also it gives you a little extra wiggle room in case your score changes. If you're right on the cusp of the creditor's cutoff, a new hard inquiry or higher utilization ratio might drop your FICO score beneath their cutoff. A higher score might drop and still be above that threshold. Pathway to a perfect 850? There's no single path to getting an 850 FICO score. After all, everyone's credit profile is unique. However, a 2023 FICO study found that people who have a perfect FICO score tend to share several characteristics. Considering your payment history makes up about 35% of your FICO score, it makes sense that people with perfect scores also have a great payment history. This group didn't have any late payments, collections, or other negative marks in their payment history. The amounts you owe on credit accounts makes up about 30% of your FICO score, and your revolving credit utilization ratio is a significant component of this scoring factor. It might surprise you to learn that people with an 850 FICO score had an average of $13,000 in non-mortgage credit balances. However, this doesn't necessarily mean they revolve a credit card balance or pay interest, and their average revolving utilization was low, just 4.1%. These people also have been using credit for years. The average age of their oldest credit account, not the average of all their accounts, was 30 years. Additionally, about 10% of the people had a hard inquiry from the previous 12 months, and about 25% had opened one or more new credit accounts during the past year. Whether intentionally or not, people with a perfect FICO score tend to follow the best practices for improving their FICO score, such as paying bills on time, avoid using a large portion of their available credit, and only applying for credit as needed. If you want to know how to pay that bill correctly and keep that utilization low, rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. We go through that whole thing with you. How many people have perfect FICO scores? Data from 2023 April found that only about 1.7% of people who meet the minimum requirements for FICO score had an 850, 1.7%. That's an increase from the previous years, but still a small minority of people. Broken down by state, Hawaii, New Jersey, Minnesota, Massachusetts, and Connecticut had the highest percentage of people with a perfect FICO score. But even in Hawaii, it was only 2.6% of the state's eligible residents. It's also normal for FICO scores to change throughout the month. They also depend on whether the underlying credit information comes from Equifax, Experian, or TransUnion credit reports. So if you work hard to get a perfect score, don't fret too much if it goes down a bit at times. Remember, a perfect score is mainly for bragging rights, and FICO score in the exceptional range can help you save money. That is Your Credit Matters, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report. It's wrong. What are you doing about it? Let's get a real-time real estate segment for you, brought to you by rsrmoney.com, rsrmoney.com. Let's see what we've got here for you. Affordable homeownership strategies for Gen Z. The idea of owning a home has always been a big part of the American dream. It's a symbol of stability, independence, and having a place to truly call your own. But for Gen Z, the Zoomers, born between 1997 and 2012, making that dream a reality can feel like quite the challenge today, with higher mortgage rates and rising home prices. But achieving that goal of owning your first home can still be attainable even today with some strategic planning and resourcefulness. Explore financing and down payment assistance programs. With prices rising all around you, it can be hard to save up for a home. If you've been struggling to stash away enough cash for that down payment, it's worth it to look into the various down payment assistance programs available. These programs can really help you save big on the upfront costs of buying a home. There are a lot more options out there than you may realize. Last time I looked, there were 352 down savings assistance programs in the state of California. If you qualify for one of these programs, you may not need to save up as much money for your down payment. A local real estate agent can help you explore these programs in your area, making it much easier to turn your homeownership dream into a reality. Consider living with the relatives to save. If you still need a bit more time to save, even with the down payment assistance programs out there, there are ways you can make it happen. Many savvy Zoomers have made a strategic choice to live with relatives so they can get to their savings goals even faster. According to the National Association of Realtors, NAR, around 30% of Gen Z home buyers transition directly from their relative's home to a home of their own. By sharing living costs such as mortgage payments, utility bills, and even grocery expenses, you can substantially reduce your monthly expenses. This frees up more of your income to tackle any outstanding debt, boost your credit score, and reach your down payment target in less time. And all of this can bring homeownership one step closer to becoming reality. Claire Trapasso, executive news editor at Realtor.com, explains, quote, faced with ongoing housing affordability issues, we're seeing parents and children becoming roommates again in later years as the kids save up to purchase their own place. The road to home ownership. When you're on the path to becoming a homeowner, it's a good idea to get some help along the way. And one of the best resources on this journey as a young home buyer is a trusted real estate agent. They'll steer you through the process of buying a home and help you find one that you can afford. Bottom line, for Gen Z, the path to home ownership may not be straightforward, but it's still within reach. With the right strategies, you can turn your dream of owning a home into a reality. That is the Your Credit Matters segment, brought to you by CreditSanitizer.com. You have a credit report and it is wrong. What are you doing about it? Credit Sanitizer has the solutions for you. And don't forget, again, we did do a workshop just recently, and you can look at ronsiegelradio.com in the archives. We did a workshop for those that are thinking about buying that Fannie Mae just came out with a change in their guidelines. Actually, it goes into effect on the 18th of November, depending on when you're listening to us, is you can buy a 2, 3, or 4 unit property, live in one of them, and use the others for rental. As of right now, that goes up to a $1.3 million purchase price for the fourplex, and put 5% down. 5%, $65,000, and you can own a fourplex. Think about that as a way to get started in your home ownership journey. So, Josh, do we have time for another? Yeah, I don't think we have time to get this other segment in there. So let's just give away a few things. We've got our home ownership guide. It's still out there. Our home buyer's guide, rsrhbg.com. We've got that one available. We've got the home seller's guide, rsrhsg.com. I told you in the segment earlier about paying your credit card bills the right way for FICO scoring purposes. rsrccpayment.com, rsrccpayment.com. For those of you that are worried about debts, you got that credit card debt, but you got equity, rsr2step.com, rsr2step.com. I go through and show you how you could potentially double your mortgage rate, save money every month, and maybe even get a lot of net worth at the end of the day. So we show all of those things to you at rsr2step.com. And the one that's a toughie, but we have to tell you about it. If divorce is in your future, my dymworkbook.com, my dymworkbook.com. It's a spreadsheet. You can put all of your real property assets in there, send it to us, and we'll put it into a form for you that if you're using an attorney for a divorce, and you do not need to, but if you're using an attorney for a divorce, if you get to that point where it's required, this will help. But if you're not using an attorney, you can go to one of the paralegals that we've had come on the show, and they can help you do all the paperwork. And this will give them a great insight for that. So that's at RSR DYM RSRDYMworkbook.com. RSRDYMworkbook.com. I think that's the correct link for it. Josh, can you check that for me? RSRDYMworkbook.com. So that one's working. RSRDYMworkbook.com. So we'll get that one is available for you. RSRDYMworkbook.com. As always, we ask, set that first radio preset button to come back here and join Ron Siegel Radio, where we only speak about items affecting your house and your bank account. Thanks to all of our sponsors. Big thanks to Josh and Sean who are engineering us today. And, of course, a special thanks to you for spending a little bit of your day with us. That's all for Ron Siegel Radio. Again, if you have any questions or to meet any of our guests, call me anytime, 800-306-1990, 800-306-1990, or ronsiegelradio.com. And remember, make a lot of money so you can help a lot of people and have a lot of fun. Have a great day. We'll talk to you next time on Ron Siegel Radio.
By the hour and older by the minute. My boss just put